Hey there. I didn't notice you. I was too busy doom scrolling on my phone. What is going on in this country, in the world? I feel very out of place. I feel very discouraged. I feel very hopeless. And these are not good feelings to have, people. These are not good feelings to have as a depressive person. These are no bueno. These are no good. Pardon my old iPhone usage here. I wrote down a couple ideas of things that I want to talk about because I did have a vague notion of what I wanted to talk about in this video. And then before I started recording, I was like, what did I say I want to talk about? And then I forgot. So I wrote them down so I wouldn't forget. And there's a couple things that I just want to touch on generally. At the top of the hour, if you couldn't tell from the skit, the poorly done skit, albeit, I'm feeling quite hopeless about like the political situation. I was just on Reddit, of course, godforsaken Reddit, and I was looking at a video popped up like in the popular tab of a woman, a mayor in Chicago, I think, maybe. It may be mayor, it may not be mayor, maybe it's a senator, she's Latina, so she was going around, like ICE apparently is in Chicago right now, like doing raids and stuff. And she was going around telling people she was chasing them off and telling people to stay inside. And it's just like, I watched it and my heart sank. Because obviously, you know, I'm not necessarily part of that community, but watching this woman, who's not being affected by it necessarily. Like I said, she is Latina, but she's a senator, so I'm assuming she's a U.S. citizen. But just the fear in her eyes, I think she was near tears, crying, as she was telling these people in both English and Spanish to stay inside, don't come out. And I saw another video earlier of ICE agents getting just two older gentlemen out of their houses. And it looked like they were sleeping. It was nighttime. They were wearing not much clothing. And it looked like they were just sleeping. And it's just like, it feels so sad because I almost feel like I'm going crazy when I think that this is wrong. You know, whether or not they're illegal, I hate to debate that too, because it's like calling a human being illegal sort of takes away their personhood. It's sort of dehumanizing. You know, it's really dehumanizing language to say, oh, that person is illegal. You know, they came to this country and, you know, these are older guys. You know, I doubt they're criminals. It didn't look like it. You know, obviously you don't know what a criminal looks like, whatever that means. But they were sleeping. You know, they were older men. They were sleeping and they were woken up. And I can't imagine just how scary that must be to be in that situation where you're not doing anything wrong in that moment. You're just sleeping, or maybe you're like winding down after a long day of work, and then these men just burst into your house and arrest you and deport you. And it's like, more cases than not, these are people who've lived in the States for many years, so it's like they don't have anything to go back to. So you're getting these people who are not, they pay taxes, you know, and a lot of people don't know that. I didn't even really know that until my dad and I had talked about it. He mentioned that undocumented is what I should say, that's the correct term for them. Undocumented immigrants do pay taxes. They work and they pay taxes. Most of them, I would argue, are good people. They're great people, in fact, maybe even greater than some of the people that we have living in this country legally, who were born here, and they're just working. They just want to work. You know, they have their family. They want to work. They don't have any ill will. They don't harbor any ill will to the United States. It should be an honor, in fact, that they even considered. I know the proximity, location-wise, like locationally, the United States is the easiest and closest like country for them to migrate to. But it's like we should be honored that they thought our country so great as to come here to work and to be a part of this country, as opposed to any other place. Like I said, sure, it's locationally it's easier for them to come here, I guess. But even still, like, I don't know if any of you have watched the Channel 5 documentary. I think they did a documentary following the trail that a lot of migrants take to come into the United States. And it's treacherous. It's horrible. They go days without food and water. They're walking in the heat in the desert. You know, they've got young ones who are with them who obviously who need special attention. They need special care. So the parents often forego eating and drinking water for the kids. It's harrowing. It's very sad. And the fact that this is happening, and I was thinking, like I said, as I was watching the video, I was thinking, is this doing something? Deporting people who are not ostensibly not criminals, is that really doing anything to help us, you know, to help the country? We're so deeply divided politically. It's insane. It's actually absurd. I used to love debating politics when I was younger and I was much more politically active. I used to love debating it with my family and friends, and now I dread when it comes up. Anytime someone mentions anything vaguely political, I roll my eyes and just go, oh, crazy. And then I just move on to the next topic because I don't even want to talk about it anymore. It's not fun to debate it anymore because it's like people's livelihoods are under debate. People's, you know, their health care, their social security, hospitals, all this stuff is tied up in that. And I'm like, I'm not up for debating those things, because those are things that people need, and it's not worth debating. I don't care if you disagree with me, because you're wrong. You're flat out wrong if you think that closing those things, shutting those things down, barring people from access to certain things is good. Then I think there's something wrong with you. You lack humanity. I think you're lacking in empathy when it comes to these marginalized groups of people. And it's horrible. And the news recently has been particularly bad. I don't want to get into specifics of how it's been bad, because I don't want to talk about it, because, for reasons. And it's all bad to me. It's just like I said, I'm disconnected politically. I don't really try to engage with that content anymore. And yet I'm still getting fed it 24/7. I'm tuned in enough to the point where I'm vaguely aware of recent happenings, and I don't want to be. I really don't want to be. Yeah, that's a horrible intro to a video that is otherwise not going to be as depressing as that intro was, but that is the way that I'm feeling right now. I didn't do my intro, I realized. So, hi, my name is Mason, and welcome to the Cat Golf Show. Yeah, besides politics, I wanted to talk about a couple different things. I'm skeptical to talk about my dating life recently because of events that have transpired. And I'm hesitant to bring that up because this is probably a great date topic, to tell your date that you're making videos about them. And then they're like, what the but no, that scenario did happen. I did tell my date that I had made multiple videos, not directly talking about them necessarily, like addressing them point blank, but vaguely to do with them. And they were actually chill about it. They were like, yeah, I won't watch the videos if you don't want me to. And I was like, I was embarrassed too. I don't want to be embarrassed. What I put on this channel, this channel for me functions essentially as like a second diary, a second journal. Like I said, I've mentioned before plenty of times probably in this broadcast, I do keep a daily journal where I basically just summarize each day and how I'm feeling in that day on my computer. It's a digital journal. And I've done that since I was 15 years old. I do have an actual journal that I also do journaling prompts and stuff in randomly whenever I feel like motivated to do so, or topically feel like doing so about some certain topic, like I did today. I did some journaling prompts, not really, about like relationships and what I hope to gain out of relationships, which I think is really productive. I really aim to understand my mind. That's like a big thing that I want to do. I sometimes I'm a speech impediment, you have to forgive me. Sometimes I really question the way I think, and I want to understand the way I think. So a lot of the time I talk to myself, which, yes, I'm crazy, cuckoo, whatever. I'm insane. I live alone. I have a cat. I talk to him sometimes, but he's not a very good conversationalist. But yeah, so I talk out loud, and I try to I walk myself through the way that I think, just to process things, because it helps me process things if I'm working over a decision that's sort of tough. But also it's very helpful to write things down, because that's how I think. I think my thoughts are very loud, and they're all over the place. They're very scattered. So writing it down and sitting down on a physical piece of paper helps me calm down. It's meditative. It's very meditative for me. It's very relieving. So yeah, I like to do that as well. But I have many different ways of doing that. So yeah, that's what I did today. But this is a roundabout way of getting to the topic that I was going to. Yes, I went on a date. Yes, it went great. Yes, I'm feeling self-conscious about it, okay? Get off my ass. Sorry, I've also been trying not to swear. If you've noticed, you may notice, I censored the swears in my last video, which is from the vault. It was recorded back in May, back when I was still on my swearing stuff. So I censored it. I didn't cut out the swears. I just bleeped them out like a traditional broadcast would. I think I'm going to do that if I slip up and swear, as I previously did. I think the A word is okay. I'm trying to avoid like the big words like B word, F word. Those are probably no words. But I think A and D, those words, I think are okay for YouTube, because they're in some movies, some PG-13 movies, like those words. So yeah, I'm avoiding saying S, I'm avoiding saying F, I'm avoiding saying B for the time being. Just because I feel like my views have really I've not been doing numbers. I've not been doing numbers recently, okay? And it's hurting my ego. So I'm trying to be more YouTube friendly. To be fair, it's also, I think it's very difficult to blow up on YouTube when that's the only thing you're doing. Like, I don't promote my content anywhere else. I literally have a YouTube channel. If I had a TikTok, if I had an Instagram, if I promoted them on Reddit, perhaps I would draw more traffic to my channel, but I don't really do those things. Also, if I probably made shorts, which I tried making a short, I tried editing a short, and DaVinci Resolve is the editing software that I use, and it's super weird with that. So I had to learn a whole bunch of stuff on how to do that. I half edited a short, and then it crashed, and I lost all the progress. So I gave up on it. and I haven't felt the urge to do it. I feel like, yeah, I don't know. I feel like that's such a good way to draw people to my thing, but I don't want to I don't want to have to write the captions because I talk a lot, in case you haven't noticed. I yap extensively, and it's like, to caption that, which is like how you get views on your video, is to have the on-screen captions. There's no easy, free way necessarily to do that. I downloaded something that automatically subtitles your videos, and it doesn't work for my version of DaVinci. So I don't know. I haven't updated to like 20 because I know that's the latest version, because I'm scared that it'll crash my workflow if I update it. So I'm still in like 18.6, and it does not work currently for that version. So yeah, that's sort of roadblocks. I could upload shorts without the captions, but then I feel like, what is that going to do? I feel like people often watch without the sound, which is crazy, because why? And just read the captions, and I don't want to necessarily do that. So I'm still debating it. I'm still thinking that I should get into shorts, but I'm also not 100% sure, just because it adds a whole nother layer. It's like, you think making a short is like a super easy thing. Chop up a video that's existing, like a 15-second clip of something, or like shorter, because I think YouTube shorts can only be 1 minute long, and then put it on shorts and you call it a day. But it involves a whole different layer of editing, because obviously these are widescreen framed, and shorts are vertical video, so it's like I have to change the resolution, I have to like pan to certain things, certain angles or whatever, depending on what I'm talking about. It's just a whole complicated thing that I'm not necessarily willing to dive into just yet. Speaking of my YouTube videos, not really existing outside the platform, someone posted one of my videos, my painting nails video. And I probably shouldn't even be talking about this because this like validates it. But someone posted, apparently my video about men painting their nails popped up in someone's recommended feed, and they posted me on a hate forum. And they were like, I don't want to see this crap, YouTube. Why am I getting recommended this knockoff whatever, some other YouTuber, some other nasty nickname that this person had coined for another YouTuber, because they said it was ripping off someone else's video, and I couldn't find the creator, so I'm assuming they just like shortened their name or like made it offensive somehow. But I was shocked because I was looking at my analytics, and they're very small analytics. Obviously, I only have 8 subscribers. And it was like from a certain website, which I'm not going to name. And I was like, what? So I spent like half an afternoon, because I couldn't find it. I couldn't figure out how they posted it. I found it. And I was like, oh, this is it. And yeah, I was super upset. I was like, what? No one thankfully responded to it. Like no one, it was a single post, anonymous, obviously. Random one post, 2 clicks on that video from it, but it was only second click, so it looks like almost someone was scrolling down, they clicked play on the video for like a second and then kept scrolling, and then no one responded to it. So I'm thankful it's only one person who hated on me. But it's like, am I big enough to get haters now already? For such an innocuous take as painting your nails, as normalized straight men painting their nails. I feel like it makes sense though. Those pages are full of right-wing trolls. You know, they hate anything that's even remotely gay, and especially anything that challenges gender norms. So it's like me posting videos like that is gonna garner not necessarily the best attention. I guess it's kind of a good thing that I'm a small channel. It's like, in my mind I dream about being a bigger YouTuber, but at the same time it's like I don't really understand fully the consequences that comes with that. Like, sure, it's well and dandy to be a big creator, because you get to make money and stuff. I don't know how much money, but you get to make money. You get to monetize your videos and stuff, but it's like also then with a bigger audience, that means you're drawing in a bigger crowd of people who are, you know, more likely than not to disagree with you based on what you're saying. And of course, as a soy boy, femme, straight, white passing, unfortunately, guy, people are going to clash with also leftist, avid leftist guy, people are going to clash with my beliefs and stuff. But it's like, I just want to make sure that I stand on my principles and express that this is a safe place for all people. You know, if you're trans, you're gay, you're bi, you're whatever, you're lesbian, I don't care. I fully accept you. I fully welcome you. You are safe here. You are protected here. Any hatred is unacceptable, and I will not be tolerated. Okay, it absolutely will not be tolerated. People who, and this goes back to the inhumane thing, people who just demonize other people for nothing, for stupid stuff like that, just make me angrier than ever. It makes me so mad, because it's just like, they're people, they're just human beings. Why can't you just see that? Why can't people just, and these are religious people who claim to like love God and stuff, and they think, and it's so crazy to me, they've twisted up religion so much in their mind that they think if Jesus was here today that he would be on their side. And I'm like, you guys are so sorely mistaken. I don't even believe in the guy, okay, but I know that he wouldn't be on your side. Like, think for a second. Okay. Anyway, that's that. I don't want to get too political. I literally said in my early stuff that I didn't want to make this political broadcast. And here we are. it's just spilling into my real life again. So my insomnia has been really bad recently. Up until a week ago, up until it was last Thursday. Okay, so up until last Friday, I've been sleeping 4 hours a night, tossing and turning. It used to be, my insomnia used to be, I get in bed, I fall asleep, wake up, can't fall back asleep. Which I was like, okay, that sucks, but at least I get to sleep. This new insomnia that has come back stronger than ever is get in bed, can't fall asleep, toss and turn, can't sleep. So that's even better. I love that for me. So yeah, I've been doing that, and I forgot when I first started going to my new doctor that I started going to back the end of last year. She gave me a prescription for another medication. It's technically another antidepressant, but it's only used for sleep for people who have insomnia because they're taking another SSRI. So I was like, F it, let me try it. I was scared to try it before when I first started going to her because I was like, is it safe to be taking two things? And she was like, yeah, it's fine. Do people get off of it? And she was like, usually it depends. Like a lot of people stay on it for life because obviously they can't sleep. And so, you know, some people, if their circumstances better, their mental better, they can get off of it. So I was like, I'm scared because obviously SSRIs have withdrawal symptoms depending on what your dosage is and how quickly you wane off of it. So I'm like, it's kind of scary. I don't know. So I just jumped right in, full pill. You know, I just jumped in and took it. And the first night I took it, I slept better. I got 7 hours of sleep. And ever since then, I've been getting 7 and 8 hours of sleep at night. And I've been sleeping much better. And I've been feeling much better throughout the day. And I want to say circumstances outside circumstances, like outside life circumstances notwithstanding, despite them, my mood has been a little bit better. And things have been going like decently well for me in terms of like dating and my personal life. But I'm wondering if it's the sleep too, because when I was not sleeping, obviously my mental is much, much worse because you can't sleep. You work all day. You're exhausted. I was tired all day. I was just literally falling asleep at my job. Hasn't happened. I've been more focused at work too. So I'm feeling a lot of different good changes that are coming from me starting this medication. So it sucks that I have to take another pill, and I really didn't want to take another medicine to help myself sleep, but I need to sleep. I need sleep. So reluctantly, I've started taking another medication. I've also recently restarted One Piece. I started watching One Piece because my brother loves One Piece. He's obsessed with it. And there's someone else who's obsessed with it. Don't tell anybody. But yeah, I started watching it again from the beginning because I was trying to find out where I left off, and I thought that I left off at like 100 episodes, but apparently not. Like I clicked to where my last bookmark was, and I was like, I don't know what is happening. No idea, completely lost. So I restarted it. I'm at episode 7, I think. They're dealing with Buggy right now. Buggy the pirate, the clown pirate, super cool guy. And I think I appreciate it much more this time around. Like last time I started watching it, basically my brother forced me to, and I was like, okay, let me just give in and just watch it. And I wasn't really sold on it 100%, just because the length alone. It's one of those animes that you hear someone recommend, it's so good, but then you see it's like 1,000+ episodes, and you're like, okay, I don't really want to watch this. I acknowledge that too, but I'm willing to watch it this time around. Anyway, I forgot how emotional it is. I've not cried at watching the show yet. I mean, it's pretty early on. Like I said, I'm 7 episodes in. But there's moments in the show, like flashbacks and stuff with the characters that are like, man, this is emotional stuff. Like I almost like when Luffy's hat floated away in one of the episodes and he like caught it and he had a flashback of Shanks and stuff. And it's like, and he lost his arm. I was like, damn, like, why do I want to cry because of this, bro? Like, it's emotional. And then Kobe's story, joining the Marines and all that stuff has been emotional too. And I'm just like, wow. Like, the characters are really interesting. I like the characters in One Piece. I like their abilities. I like the devil fruits. I think they're really interesting. And I've only seen like 2 devil fruits up to this point. But, you know, obviously I know there's more that come into play as the show progresses and they get more crew members. I guess, yeah, when I first started, I was like, when are they going to get the full crew together, bro? And I was just hoping they would rush it along more and get the crew faster. But, I mean, we're about 7 episodes in and he's almost got 3 crew members already. So it's like, it's coming along pretty fast-paced. But, yeah, I think where I ended off, what I last remember seeing, I think, was when they just met Chopper, maybe. And I think that was maybe 60 episodes in. But I went there and I didn't remember anything that was happening. So I'm like, yeah, let me just start over. And I don't remember a few of the episodes that I watched. I don't remember at all. Like I remember the Buggy stuff. I remember him as a character. I remember Colby, of course, because obviously he has pink hair and that's super unique and interesting. I remember the Shank stuff vaguely, but a lot of the other stuff I don't. And Zoro, of course, I remember some stuff about him too. But yeah, a lot of the other stuff I don't I didn't remember. So it's good to have a good refresher. It's good to start a new show again, technically. I've been really stuck in a rut. Like I said, I've rewatched New Girl. I've not finished it, yo. I'm at like season 7, episode 2 or 3. I've got like a couple more episodes of that to watch, like maybe 10 or so episodes of that to watch before it's finished again. But I feel like the most recent times that I've rewatched New Girl all the way through, I've stopped at the same point. So I may finish that. I may not finish that because there's another show that's coming out from Dana Terrace, Knights of Guinevere, which looks so cool. I'm very excited for that. I was recently informed about that. I'm looking forward greatly to that. The pilot for that is coming out this Friday. So yeah, I'm also super excited for that. So there's a lot of different stuff that I'm looking forward to. English Teacher, the show is getting season 2. That's coming up at the end of the month. Super excited for that as well. Yeah, so there's a lot of media that's coming out that I'm excited for. A lot of things going on that I am excited for. I have, so far, right now, I'm feeling a reinvigorated sense of life, a reinvigorated passion for life. My depression is not as bad as it has been. I've been feeling decently better. It could be for a number of reasons. I like to believe that it is because I am getting sleep. But yes, this has turned out to be an entirely much longer video than I expected it to be. I thought that I honestly would run out of things to say, but I just sort of rambled a lot. And I am a leftist, liberal, bleeding heart. Conservatives watching this may, if there are any, which I don't know. My audience is too small to have those sort of demographics at, who will be like, oh my god, another bleeding heart leftist liberal complaining for illegal immigrants. If they didn't want to get deported, then they shouldn't have come here illegally, bro. It's just like, where's your empathy? Aren't you a Christian? Aren't you supposed to... What do you think Jesus did to illegal aliens? Do you think he kicked them out, or do you think he gave them home and tended to them and helped them? Stop being a jagoff. Anyway, I appreciate the likes and support on my most recent video. A novice author, an unpublished author, gives you writing advice on writing a novel, whatever the title is. I'm hoping that it does well. It's not, as of recording this video, it comes out tomorrow. So I'm recording this on the Tuesday before it comes out. I'm very excited for it. It's long, so I'm not expecting it to do the best in terms of views. I do not swear in that video, so I'm hoping that at least gets it turning in the algorithm, gets it percolating in the algorithm a little bit better, since it's YouTuber friendly, it's advertiser friendly. No swears within the first minute, no swears in the entire video. I don't think. I'm hoping that does well. I'm hoping just like that is a series of videos that I want to start doing. I'm very passionate about, as I said in that video. You will see that I'm very passionate about giving people advice, especially when it comes to writing. There was also another video idea that I just remembered when I looked in my notes app today, which is like how I wrote my first novel, which is sort of a similar topic of like writing advice, novel writing advice, but not the same. It's sort of just my process in general of how I wrote the novel, which I may do, I may not do, we'll see. I'm waiting on some feedback from a chapter, a big chapter change at the final half of the book, the end of the book, essentially the penultimate chapter, from my good friend who writes screenplays, who is looking it over for me. He's been a godsend when it comes to this novel. He's been so incredibly helpful. He read through it and gave me so much good feedback. I'm ever grateful and appreciative. I'm thinking of my acknowledgments as I'm like dealing with people who read my novel and stuff. I'm like, I have so many people to acknowledge and thank so gratefully so much for reading my novel and putting up with my endless barrage of questions. Is this good? Does this sound good? Does this make sense? Is this whatever? So yeah, endlessly thankful for the people in my life. Endlessly. Yeah, so that's the video. I hope that you all are doing somewhat better than me in terms of keeping up with politics and avoiding it, because there's nothing we can do. We are all circling the drain. No, I'm just kidding. I've really been on a positivity kick, and I've been trying to keep that mindset despite everything that's going on, despite what is going on in my personal life in terms of all that stuff, in terms of not necessarily politics, because I'm just trying to tune that out in general. Just like my attitude. I'm trying to maintain a positive attitude generally, because I feel like since I've started that, the things around me have been more positive. You know, you get what you put out into the universe. I like to believe that. I'm not frou-frou. You know, I'm not religious. I'm not spiritual, really. I do believe in intuition, feelings, innate feelings that you feel in your soul, because I've gotten those before, and sometimes they turn out to be correct. Most of the time, they turn out to be very accurate. And also, yeah, the positivity thing. I've definitely noticed a world shift, a viewpoint shift in my world since becoming more positive. And doing that to my friends, giving that to my brothers is definitely very helpful. And I think they sort of roll their eyes and think it's performative, but it's not. It's authentic. I genuinely do think positively now, and it's wonderful. It's great. So thank you for watching. Long-winded way of ending the video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope you have a great evening, morning, or night, whatever time of day it is for you, afternoon, perchance, perhaps. Have a good one. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Cat Golf Show, I've been Mason, signing off. Bye.